Today I'm going to start with a quote from Jay Baer. The quote says, "Social media doesn't create negativity, it uncovers it." I'm sure we can all agree with this, as we see social media creep its way harder into everyday aspects of our lives. I don't think any teenager can say they don't use social media every day, and I would be hard bargain to bet that they don't use it for more than an hour or two a day. It's very aggressive, and it's in our lives in every aspect. I'm an average teenage user. I wouldn't say I use it as much as a lot of people, but I use it quite frequently. I think the other day I had 45 minutes was my average on Instagram a day, and that's not including other social media platforms. And it's just, I can see the effects of the mental health on a lot of girls or boys whenever, and these are not just young people, as they post pictures of themselves and maybe it's more revealing, or they're just doing these crazy challenges because they're trying to get any amount of fame or glory for nothing, because they don't get no return besides just a few people looking their way once in their lives. And I just don't understand it. And that's really the damaging aspect of it. The striving for fame or material goods that are unachievable, and this is very present in the beauty standards that are set through social media. But this can be fixed by understanding the truth about internet fame and how it's not all it is set up to be, and how it doesn't last and it's not worth it. And once that's achieved, a teen can be happy with their life and then live stress-free and care about themselves rather than what other people think about them. And to start, we need to assess really how bad social media is affecting the mental health of teenagers, as I stated earlier. This can be simply placed in one category of peer pressure. There's two types of peer pressure, though. There's the physical peer pressure, and then there's the mental peer pressure. Physical peer pressure can be monitored a little easier. It's not the easiest thing, but I just got a quote from Addiction Campus. It says, "In fact, you may feel compelled to share something that will make you feel just as pretty or popular, even if it means doing something unhealthy or downright dangerous." The cinnamon challenge, I'm sure that's infamous by now, and everyone thought it was stupid, but I think a lot of people have done it, and it was dangerous, and it hurt people's lungs. But that's not too big of a deal. I mean, it's still a dangerous activity, don't get me wrong. But there's a new challenge going around on TikTok called the Nutmeg Challenge, where people are doing large doses of nutmeg, and nutmeg has hallucinogenic effects if you take in large doses, but it can also cause comatose of 2 days where people just don't wake up, and it's really dangerous, and especially when young people are very influential, and I see it a lot, and it's really bad. And so these trends of peer pressure can cause people lifelong damage if they're put into comatose and things like that from dangerous challenges. But the harder to stop form of peer pressure is the mental effect. And this can be seen as people copy celebrities, or they just try to look like celebrities, or try to be perfect by photoshopping themselves and wishing that they could attain these unrealistic beauty standards. And I know that's a term that's thrown around a lot, like it's a big deal, but it actually is a big deal for the self-confidence and the happiness and well-being of the whole of society, because everyone's going to strive to be this one person and then everyone will look the same. There'll be no individuality. And celebrities post pictures in scantily clad outfits, and if they're adults, that's fine. But if they're young women, like 14 years old, and they're posting pictures in bikinis that are a little too revealing, then they can get ungarnered attention from perverted people online, and that can lead to dangerous situations as well, through harassment and stalking and even unsolicited pictures from these older people. And social media is a fun outlet, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say it doesn't have benefits. That's not being denied. But it's what really happens on social media that's damaging, and that's through the jealousy of liking people's pictures. That's what really social media is all about. If you go on Instagram and you're not following memes, you're looking at what people have or how people look, and you're liking them based on how good you think they look and how much you want them, or how much you want the things they have by the things they're posting. That's what's damaging, because it creates this jealous mindset in everyone that we need to strive to get the best thing we can, and that's all that matters, is getting this best thing and showing it off and being proud of it. and being proud of all of it. And then once you get that same thing that someone else has, it doesn't make it unique anymore, and we all just fit the same mold. And this plays into beauty standards where one race or one size is the standard, and if you're not in that and you can't control that, it's over for you. And that just creates a very negative mindset, and it's very not beneficial to everyone in society. None of this information is new to someone who's ever used social media. We all see the effects of it, whether we experience it firsthand, that is debatable, but we all can see it as we go through and scroll. But self-acceptance is more important than being famous or having likes. A 2019 study of more than 6,500 12 to 15-year-olds in the U.S. found that those who spent 3 hours a day using social media are at a heightened risk of mental health problems. That's from the Mayo Clinic. So it's really important that being happy with yourself comes first, rather than spending all your time on social media getting self-respect or self-acceptance by posting pictures and liking yourself before you go on and understand that you're not using that as a way to love yourself and using social media as a way to enjoy your own life. That's not what it's built for. It's a way to connect with people, not for people to judge you and give you acceptance. Because no one would post a picture and get 0 likes and be okay with it. They would just leave it in their camera roll. And that's where the issues come in, with people being scared and not using social media correctly as a way to connect with other people. It's all about accepting yourself and understanding that these celebrities that everyone looks up to are not exactly what they claim to be. People doubt if Kylie Jenner's body is even real. I am a skeptic of that myself. But in an interview with a plastic surgeon, they said that they think she has worked on her hips, butt, breast, cheek, jawline, and she has confirmed that her lips are done from fillers. So it doesn't make sense to me that people are praising these celebrities and wish to be so much like them when all of it isn't even real. It's just from money, and they all are made of plastic. That's just not healthy to want to be made of plastic, in my opinion. And I don't see why people would want to spend all that money to look not the way they are, and just could be happy with who they are now, instead of having to waste all that money and time trying to be someone they're not. And switching the brain to believe everything we see is real is really hard, and that's why it's a hard concept to accept when it comes to social media, that we need to not believe the celebrities at face value, or the people that are showing off everything they have, because it might not be theirs, it might be loaned or something like that. It's really important to understand not everything is as it seems, and that's where we become individuals, because we understand that we see these things and they might not be real, and that's not who they are. They're just following trends, and you need to not follow trends. If they're safe, you can not follow trends and be who you want to be before you go online and be who everyone else is. That's what it comes down to, and that's when you enjoy yourself, you will not get the mental health effects of social media, because you won't have to scrounge for likes or do everything everyone else is doing. You can be yourself and not have to worry about the judgment from others, or worry about the likes you get, because it's not all about the likes. It's about being yourself and enjoying the connection with other people, as social media was meant to be. And according to researchers, frequent use of social media results in poor psychological and cognitive function. They explored the relationship between the use of social sites and poor mental health, using the high schools in Ottawa as examples. The students who reflected that they had poor mental health were likely to have used social media platforms. This is just reaffirming that social media affects our mental state. It's constant judgment is not helpful for anyone, and especially in certain individuals. And once you gain popularity, you're just scrutinized more for what you've already been doing. And if you're struggling with that, internet fame is not going to be helpful for that. And why would you want to be judged? No one wants to be judged by their own parents. And if you go online, you can be seen by 20 other sets of parents and judged even harder by them. So why? There's no value in that if you're already not caring what your parents think as teenagers. And now researchers at the University of Missouri have found that Facebook can lead to symptoms of depression if the social media networking sites trigger feelings among envy in the users. And like I said earlier, it's just liking people because you're jealous. You only like things because you want them, or you don't have them and you're jealous of them. So that's going to lead to depression, as this study finds. So that's why becoming an individual and doing what you want is way more important than liking things and following trends. And social media isn't the biggest issue in the world, I get that. But it might be the biggest issue in a lot of teens' lives because it will affect who they become in the future. In conclusion, social media has to be the greatest invention of our generation, but it also has to be the biggest double-edged sword in history. The most harmful effect of social media created is causing people to strive for material or physical achievements that are impossible through these beauty standards or monetary achievements. And this can be fixed by understanding that internet fame and realizing the value it holds is very low, and being yourself is way more important. And once this is achieved, a teen can be stress-free when they explore social media and use it for its intended purpose of communicating or enjoying people's hobbies and activities, and not try to impress other people and just be themselves. I'm just a teenager myself, so I haven't experienced a ton in life, so I might be naive. But the one thing I know about life is that you can spend all your time looking at something and wanting it, or you can spend the rest of your time doing it and going to get it. Thank you.